Well, it is with sadness tonight that we note the passing of Brooke Megan Greenberg, who died yesterday at the age of 20.
Yet she was a medical mystery, and some would call her a medical miracle. She did not age past the mind and size of a baby.
When doctors are asked what the hardest part of their job is, most will tell you the same thing, delivering devastating diagnoses. But some diagnoses go beyond devastating. They're so rare, so bizarre, so seemingly impossible, that even experienced physicians struggle to believe what they're seeing.
My stomach hurts, it hurts right here, and I can't feel this. Like, I can't feel anything, but my stomach hurts right there, and Brittany's stomach hurts here, and she can't feel that.
Today, we're looking at 8 real people who received medical diagnoses that defied logic, rewrote textbooks, changed our understanding of what the human body can endure. Some of these conditions affect only a handful of people on Earth. Others shouldn't be medically possible at all.
It's always that battle between pain and not.
So what happens when medicine meets the unimaginable? Jet Wilson and his 2 different heights. Jet Wilson has something most people never think about: 2 different body heights. When he stands on his right leg, he's about 5 feet 6 inches tall. Stand him on his left leg, and he's barely 4 feet 9. The reason is as tragic as it is preventable. When Jet was just 1 week old, doctors needed to give him intravenous medication, but the tube they inserted was contaminated with bacteria. Those bacteria spread through his tiny body and settled in his left leg, causing an infection that permanently damaged the growth plate. From that moment on, his left leg would grow much slower than his right. As a baby, the difference was barely noticeable. As a teenager, it became impossible to ignore. Doctors told his parents that Jet would likely lose the ability to walk before he even finished high school. But Jet had other plans. Today, he's 32 years old and still walking, thanks in part to a collection of custom orthopedic sneakers worth over $100,000. Each pair is specially designed to balance the massive difference in his leg lengths. But here's where Jet's story takes an unexpected turn. Instead of letting his condition define him, he built a career around it. In his early 20s, Jet became a rapper and music producer, turning his disability into what he calls his dripability. He embraced his uniqueness, shared his story on social media, and became a viral sensation. Today, he earns hundreds of thousands of dollars a year from his music and online presence. He's also a father. Jet and his girlfriend Angel have a 6-year-old son, and the family regularly posts about their life together. What could have been a story of limitation became one of creativity, resilience, and defiance. Jet didn't just survive a medical mistake, he thrived because of it. Sanjay Kumar and the twin inside. On May 18, 1999, an ambulance raced through the streets of India carrying a man who thought he was about to die. Sanjay Kumar was 36 years old, and his abdomen had swollen to grotesque proportions. It looked like it might burst at any moment. Doctors immediately ordered x-rays, but the images were puzzling. They showed something inside, but they couldn't identify what. Ultrasound scans were equally unhelpful, revealing only that part of the mass was liquid. Then came the CT scan. And that's when things got disturbing. The scan showed a massive dark shape filling almost his entire abdominal cavity. Not water, not fat, not enlarged organs, just an unknown mass wrapped in some kind of membrane. The doctors had no choice but to operate. When they opened Sanjay's abdomen and cut through the membrane, nearly 20 kilograms of fluid gushed out. But that wasn't the strangest part. As the surgeon reached deeper into the cavity, his fingers touched something he wasn't prepared for: a shriveled human hand. Inside Sanjay's body was the partially formed fetus of his twin brother. It had been there for over 30 years, feeding off Sanjay's nutrients like a parasite, and somehow it was still alive. The condition is called fetus in fetu, and it happens when one twin becomes trapped inside the other during early development. It's extremely rare and usually detected much earlier in life. But Sanjay's case remains one of the most extreme ever documented. The twin was removed, and Sanjay finally understood why his stomach had been growing. He'd been carrying his brother all along, Natasha Coates, and her war against everything. In 2012, Natasha Coates from Nottingham, England, developed an allergy to apples. It seemed minor at first, but then other fruits started causing reactions. Then vegetables, then more and more foods. When she went to the doctor, the diagnosis was terrifying: mast cell activation syndrome. It's a rare immune disorder that causes the body to become allergic to almost everything, and it doesn't stop at food. For Natasha, nearly every stimulus in her environment became a potential threat. The scariest part? She could go into anaphylactic shock without any warning. Her immune system would suddenly trigger a massive allergic reaction for no clear reason. By the time she reached her 20s, Natasha had experienced over 240 allergic shocks that required emergency treatment with an EpiPen. Many times she lost consciousness or ended up in the hospital. But even day-to-day life became a minefield. She's allergic to her own hair growing, which is why she now keeps her head shaved. Her own tears cause allergic symptoms. Her sweat makes her skin itch intensely. She can't wear most fabrics, use most soaps, or be around most fragrances. Yet Natasha refuses to let the syndrome take over her life. She has a service dog named Ace who's trained to detect allergic reactions before they become severe. And despite everything, she became a competitive gymnast. Competing in the handicap division, Natasha won 48 medals at national tournaments. Her body may be fighting her every day, but she's fighting back just as hard. Jordan and Sean Adams battling time itself. Jordan Adams was 23 years old when doctors told him he had Alzheimer's disease. Not early onset Alzheimer's, not a preliminary risk factor, full Alzheimer's, along with Parkinson's disease. He became the youngest person ever diagnosed with the condition. The cause was a gene passed down through his family. His mother had it, his aunt had it, his grandmother had it, and now genetic testing confirmed that both Jordan and his brother Sean carried it too. The gene comes with a cruel certainty. By the time Jordan turns 40, he'll have lost most of his memories. He likely won't live to see 50. There's no cure and no way to stop it. The only small mercy is that his variant of Alzheimer's progresses slowly. It will be years before the memory loss becomes severe. But Jordan already knows what's coming, and instead of retreating from the world, he's chosen to fight. Jordan has made it his mission to raise awareness and fund research into dementia. He's appeared on talk shows across the UK, speaking openly about his diagnosis. He and Sean organized a high-profile charity run where they jogged the entire length of Great Britain to raise money for dementia research. They've also volunteered as test patients at the University of London, helping scientists study how the disease progresses in young people. Jordan isn't just waiting for his mind to fade. He's using the time he has left to make sure future generations don't have to face what he's facing. And if there's ever a breakthrough in Alzheimer's treatment, it may be partly thanks to him. Jonathan Petra and the butterfly skin. Jonathan Petra was born in New York City with a condition called epidermolysis bullosa, better known as butterfly skin disease. His body doesn't produce enough of a protein called collagen 7, which helps hold the layers of skin together. As a result, Jonathan's skin is incredibly fragile. The slightest friction can cause it to blister, tear, or peel away entirely. By the time he was a teenager, Jonathan had lost about half of his skin. His body is constantly covered in open wounds that cause excruciating pain. To manage it, he spends most of his time lying down, wrapped in bandages from head to toe. Even the simplest movements can be agonizing. Yet despite living in near constant pain, Jonathan has an outlook that's almost impossible to comprehend. In interviews, he said that people often tell him he's an inspiration, that his story helps them through their own struggles. And Jonathan's response is this: if his suffering can help others, then he's willing to endure it. That level of grace is rare in anyone, let alone someone who's experienced so much pain. His mother has been by his side through it all.
That you just want to hug, and you want to be in his presence.
Caring for him with unwavering devotion. And recently, there's been a glimmer of hope. In 2024, the FDA approved the first ever medication specifically for epidermolysis bullosa. It's not a cure, but it's a sign that research is finally catching up to this devastating disease. For Jonathan and others like him, that's more than they've had in years. Brooke Greenberg, who never aged. Brooke Greenberg was born in 1993, but her body never got the memo. As the years passed, Brooke didn't age the way other children did. By the time she was a teenager, she still looked like a toddler. Her height, weight, and bone structure remained frozen at around the developmental stage of a 1 to 2-year-old. She couldn't walk or talk, and her cognitive abilities never progressed beyond infancy. Doctors called her condition Syndrome X because they couldn't figure out what was causing it. Genetic tests came back normal. There was no clear mutation or disease. It was as if her body had simply decided to stop developing. Brooke's case fascinated scientists because she seemed to defy one of the most fundamental aspects of biology: aging. Different parts of her body aged at different rates. Her teeth came in late. Her bones didn't grow. Her brain remained underdeveloped. It was like her biological clock had been scrambled. Researchers hoped that studying Brooke might unlock secrets about aging itself, possibly leading to treatments for age-related diseases. Sadly, Brooke passed away in 2013 at the age of 20, though biologically she'd never made it past toddlerhood. Her family said she brought joy and wonder into their lives every single day. And while science still doesn't fully understand what happened to her, Brooke's legacy lives on in the research her condition inspired. Abby and Brittany Hensel, living as two in one. Abby and Brittany Hensel are conjoined twins, but not in the way most people imagine. They share a single body from the chest down, but each has her own head, heart, and set of lungs. They have separate spines that merge into one pelvis, and they control opposite sides of their shared body. Abby controls the right arm and leg. Brittany controls the left. Everything they do requires coordination: walking, driving, playing sports. They've had to learn to move as one unit while still being two distinct people, and somehow they've mastered it. The twins grew up in Minnesota and lived remarkably normal lives. They attended public school, participated in sports, and graduated from college with degrees in education. Today, they work as elementary school teachers. They've said in interviews that they rarely think of themselves as conjoined anymore. To them, their body is just the way things are. They've developed their own system for making decisions. Sometimes they agree instantly. Other times they have to compromise. But they've been doing it their whole lives, so it's second nature. In 2012, they starred in a reality TV show that gave viewers a glimpse into their daily lives. The show highlighted not just the medical side of their condition, but their personalities, friendships, and dreams. Abby and Brittany have become symbols of resilience and adaptability, proving that even the most unusual circumstances can lead to fulfilling, joyful lives. Michelle Philpotts and her eternal yesterday. Michelle Philpotts wakes up every morning thinking it's 1994. She remembers her childhood, her teenage years, and her early 20s. But everything after 1994 is gone, erased every single day. Michelle suffers from anterograde amnesia, a condition that prevents her brain from forming new long-term memories. It's similar to the memory loss depicted in films, except this is Michelle's real life. The condition was caused by two serious accidents. She was in a car crash, and later she had a bad reaction during a medical procedure. Both incidents damaged the part of her brain responsible for memory formation. Now, no matter what happens during the day, it's gone by the time she falls asleep. When she wakes up, it's 1994 again. She doesn't remember her wedding, even though she's been married for years. Every morning, her husband Ian has to reintroduce himself and explain their life together. He shows her their wedding album. He reminds her where they live. He reassures her that everything is okay. And every day, Michelle has to process it all over again. To cope, she leaves herself notes everywhere, reminders about appointments, names of friends, things she needs to do. Her phone is filled with photos and videos to help her piece together the life she can't remember living. Despite the challenges, Michelle tries to stay positive. She says Ian is incredibly patient and loving, and that she's grateful for the life they've built, even if she can't recall most of it. Her story is a haunting reminder of how fragile memory really is, and how much of our identity depends on our ability to hold on to the past. These 8 people didn't just receive diagnoses. They received futures they never imagined, conditions that redefined what it means to be human. And yet every single one of them found a way to keep going.